Hey guys, welcome to What the Flick, episode 5 of Girls, season 4. One fantastic scene, I thought, and a strong episode, but one scene I want to talk about. Bree, Alonso, Anna, Ben. I think we'll begin effectively this time with a clip. Sure. How about that?
I take umbrage.
Umbrage? I just want to write that down, that you take umbrage.
I don't know if you've ever been a camp counselor, but it is no easy feat. But
teenagers do it for the most part, right?
Recently, it's just been me writing while you tinker with your motorcycle.
That's my mode of transportation.
What's a job that I could have that doesn't disgust you?
Based on this look, ice-capades,
Clockmaker.
school marm,
clog model?
Tennille on a Captain Tennille cover band.
So I could not have loved the writing on Ray's scene more. I mean, look, I love civic government, but that was pretty great, and you just waiting for the heavy guy next to Mark Maron.
Yes.
By the way, making an appearance there. Next to him being like, well, he has a point. And then just having it open it up with airing everybody's dirty laundry, and then just the shot of him, no words, figuring out that he could run for this. I thought it was great. Am I wrong?
No, there was a lot of fun banter, but that scene and then also the brunch scene where they're all piling on to Hannah, I thought there's a lot of quips in this episode.
Yeah,
a lot of zingers.
Yeah, and written by a guy named Max Brockman, not written, he didn't, that's who it's listed on IMDb, and I do know that after the show it was not a Lena Dunham credit, and I thought it would be. I also thought really significantly that last week, that enormously emotional episode for her was also not written by her. I mean, look, she's clearly involved in the writing, I would imagine, of every episode, but that one seemed so personal for Hannah that I was a little surprised that she didn't write it.
It was kind of nice, though, because I feel like she knows that character so well. It's nice to have somebody else maybe dictate where her character goes, because she's so used to making the decisions for her character that it was different and interesting. It
was incredible. This episode I thought was really, that brunch episode was great too. And I mean, again, it's one of those moments in television where you're like, I don't know that any people are actually this clever, but nonetheless.
Oh, I've been at some tables.
And then Hannah fully accepting that, when whatever her name is, Jessa says, well, you know what they say, those who can't teach. And she's like, yeah. Well, I can't, right, like I don't know, her therapy session, the therapist seemed so terrible, like he just wanted to get her out.
Do we think Bob Balaban is the worst therapist ever?
Bob Balaban is the worst therapist in the history of the world, right? But that said, she actually took something out of it. Like, she ends up sort of applying it in that very grown-up moment. Yeah, okay, I can't, so I'll teach.
I'm kind of excited for Hannah. I really enjoyed the last 2 episodes, especially because it shows you that, look, everyone in life goes through these catastrophic moments. She lost her boyfriend, who she's clearly still in love with. But, out of this catastrophe, I mean, she might be able to find a true path in life. So it's kind of interesting to see her at the absolute bottom and how she's going to kind of move forward. And, I feel like you see a little bit of maturity with Hannah. She mopes around, she feels sorry for herself for like a minute, and then she's like, I need to do something different with my life. So I like that. I like that she's exploring different options.
Yeah, she gets a couple days under the sheets, and then it's like, all right, let's move to the next thing, we should talk a little about last week as well, since we were not here. I thought that was a really great sort of use of a single set. If she's just going to be the lump in the bed, let's just parade everybody in and out of the apartment and have them deal with her in the different ways that they would deal with her in that situation. And it was a great showcase for the 3 other girls on the show, for Adam Driver, obviously. I think that his relationship with
Mimi Rose
Howard is hilarious.
That's not even a name. That's a girl's name and a guy's name with a flower stuck in it. That was my favorite line. It was so funny.
And what does it turn out that her actual middle name is?
Eleanor.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
And I love that we get a little taste of Gabby Hoffman in there with the super, so that was all great. And then this week I thought was really terrific in that I love the Mimi Rose Adam stuff. I didn't lie to you. I just didn't tell you something until it was too late for you to do anything about it. That's a great bit too.
The conversation between Mimi Rose and Adam about whether or not she really cares about him and needs him was really fascinating, right? Because for a moment she was able to explain to him something that he was having a difficult time comprehending, right? it's not healthy when someone's with you because they need you. It's healthy when someone's with you because they want to be with you.
Yeah.
That said, I think it's a little irresponsible not to tell the guy that got you pregnant that you just had an abortion.
Well, she did tell him that she just had an abortion.
Right.
to-
Yeah, I want to hear what
just
y'all
about
say
to.
about this because I have my thoughts, but I'm more interested to hear your perspective.
I am 100% in support of a woman's right to choose. Ultimately, it's her decision. End of story. But at the same time, you let the guy know. I would let the guy know.
There's a little hesitation there.
I think it's different for everybody. I think that's the point of a woman's right to choose is it's not just her right to choose what she does with her body, but also how she shares that information. Because it is what's going on in her body. It's not necessarily, I can see both sides to this argument.
I just feel like
think
if
it's
it's
clear.
your
What does
she
Miss
doesn't owe
Manners
him
say?
anything.
I just feel like if it's
Manners
your live-in boyfriend, I mean, it's just
I think that's
common
the-
courtesy.
But
Yeah.
she says 7 weeks.
Yeah.
They've been together for 7 weeks.
Right.
It's
Is
one thing if
they-
they were in a long-term relationship.
Yeah, they made it interesting because they're living together. If you're living with someone, you should probably tell them. You get not to.
But they
you should
started
probably
living
tell them.
together
But
really
they-
quickly, though.
But they did,
Yeah.
right. It happened right at the beginning. So it was a totally interesting debate between two people who both had totally valid emotional reactions to it. Right.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even feel like that Hannah had been in Iowa for 7 weeks. It was
I
like,
know.
wow, that was. I was assuming it had been about a month.
I'm glad
so.
she gave it a real shot, though.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's our Hannah. So the stick to
I
itiveness.
was looking at Elijah was about to buy 16 acres of land.
And he was dating the mayoral frontrunner.
He was dating the mayoral front
practically
runner,
running
buying
that JCPenney.
Right, buying 16 acres of land. And he was like, all right, I'll just come back to New York with you losers. Yeah.
I think Mimi Rose, though, is a character that was much needed on this show. To have somebody who is so in control of her own life and has her shit together and is not afraid to speak up for herself.
I mean,
It was
a
just
grown-up woman
a
acting like a
grown-up woman.
grown-up.
And in the
Yeah.
last episode, when Hannah was trying to hate her so hard and then looks up her speech,
Right.
she's like, you can see in her face, she's like, oh, this woman is so brilliant. She's nailing this right now. But also I hate her because I hate her.
And same for who was the friend with the, who's the mammoth? What's mammoth?
Shosh.
Same reaction. She was like, yeah, okay, we're not watching this now because she's awesome.
Speaking of Shosh, do we think that she and Soup Guy have a future?
Oh my God.
That was also a funny scene. That was also
so good.
Yeah.
I feel like Shosh is actually way less annoying this season.
Yeah.
Like I like her little meltdowns during these interviews. I think they're great.
I think her weakness makes her vulnerability makes her more appealing.
Yeah, definitely. It's enjoyable to see.
Especially when you put her next to Jessa.
Yeah.
How the hell does Hannah sit next to Jessa at brunch or near Jessa at brunch after she finds out that Jessa hooked Adam up with Mimi Rose Howard? I just don't, like, there are certain parts of the show that kind of leave me frustrated because, like, no one ever hashes anything out. It's just, oh, next episode, it's all cool. We're all good.
I think that though they're incredibly immature at times, they are actually uber mature at other times. Like they don't, the stereotype about girls that they're, so petty and catty. Like we see that, but they don't let it last. Like they're friends. They're like, no, I got it. You set her up. I did. At some point, Hannah's going to be like, well, I did leave. And setting them up doesn't mean that Adam. It's not on you. Adam could have found a girl any number of ways. So there's a maturity in that, and then a real maturity, and a couple of times from Marne, who was by far the most mature person in that fight with whatever his name is. What is his
Noah?
name? No, not
Can we
Noah.
just call him the D-bag? I can't stand that guitar guy.
Yeah, with,
Motorcycle Joe.
Yeah.
Mumford or Son.
Yeah.
Mumford or Son.
Because she was like, oh man, he is a loser. What have I done? What have I done? And then the week before, she was the mature one with Hannah. She came in,
Yeah.
she
I
brought the
loved
right
that.
things,
Yes.
and she was like, you gotta let him go. Maybe he'll come back, whatever, but you have to let him go, and it's
right
it's going to be
things.
so hard,
Yeah.
but this is what you have to do.
And she said, I'll be the love of your life. And
Right,
for
right.
just that
No, totally.
camaraderie, that's what
Again,
we do.
like for all they've been through, they are not like Marne and Hannah are not leaving each other. That doesn't happen.
It
So I know
reminded me
that.
so much of the pilot episode.
That's right. That's right.
Them together in the bathroom and their little moments.
They're each other's fixed point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I welled up at that. There was no, that was an easy one. What is that guy's name? Oh, I was listening to Seth Meyers on Howard Stern talk about he'd interviewed Allison Williams the week before, And one moment in that scene, the guy, when they're having the oral sex that everyone's talking about,
The ass eating scene?
I was trying to avoid
Thanks, Hannah.
that.
Just want to
being
make sure
said.
we're clear with the audience.
Yeah,
Salads
okay.
were tossed.
Yeah, so, and then the guy says, I love that. And Marne says, I love you too. Like she heard it wrong. And that, that is such a great piece of writing, such a great moment. Yeah, so I mean, she got no future with this guy. None.
Yeah.
And she's starting, and she recognizes that.
Yeah.
So we'll be back next week. More girls talk. Bree, Anna, Alonso, thanks. Talk to you soon.